Ethan Harper is a 62-year-old man living alone on a small farm in the rural Midwest. He doesn't do much. Days are quiet, slow, repetitive, but strangely peaceful. This is a story not of events, but of time passing, a meditation on stillness. Waking up slowly, Ethan woke up at 5:47 a.m., as always. The digital clock blinked in red on the nightstand. He didn't move at first, just stared at the ceiling. It had a water stain in the corner, shaped vaguely like a turtle. He'd noticed it a year ago and still hadn't done anything about it. He rolled onto his side with a slow grunt, exhaled, then sat up. His back cracked softly. He reached for his glasses, fumbled a little, and slid them on. The world became slightly clearer, though still dull. His feet touched the cold wooden floor. The room smelled faintly of dust and old cotton. He shuffled to the bathroom, flicked the light on, and looked at his reflection. Wrinkled, tired, familiar. He splashed water on his face but didn't bother shaving. No one was coming. No one ever came. In the kitchen, he made his usual breakfast. 2 slices of toast, dry, and a cup of day-old coffee reheated in the microwave. It didn't taste good, but it was warm and that was enough. He sat by the window watching as the sun tried to rise behind the clouds. A single bird flew past. The wind barely moved the trees. He took slow bites. The toast was slightly burned. Stepping outside. Ethan stepped outside, pulling on his worn jacket. It was chilly but not cold. The kind of weather where breath didn't quite fog, but you could feel the bite in your nose. He stood on the porch for a while, not doing anything, just standing. The screen door creaked behind him as it slowly swung and shut. His boots made soft thuds on the wooden steps as he walked down to the yard. A single leaf drifted down from the big oak tree and landed on his shoulder. He let it stay there. He walked to the mailbox. Inside, 1 grocery store flyer, 1 farm equipment catalog from 2019, and a letter addressed to someone else. He kept them all. He looked out over his field again. Brown, dry, silent. No birds this time, just wind. He sat on the porch swing and let it creak back and forth under his weight. And he waited, for nothing in particular. The tractor that doesn't work. Ethan opened the barn door. The hinges squeaked. Dust floated in the sunlight pouring through the cracks. There sat his old red tractor, the same one his father bought. It hadn't worked in years, but every few days Ethan tried to start it, just in case. He climbed in. The seat groaned under him. He turned the key. Nothing. Again, nothing. He sat there for a few more minutes, listening to the silence, then got out. He patted the tractor twice, like it was a loyal dog, and walked back toward the house. He knew it wouldn't start, but something about trying felt important. Talking to chickens. The chicken coop had 3 hens. That was all. Ethan didn't raise them for eggs anymore, just company. He opened the coop and said, "Morning, ladies." They clucked back, indifferently. He filled their feeder and water, watched one of them peck at the dirt for 5 minutes straight. Then he said, "You know, I miss your eggs." One chicken looked up, then looked away. Ethan sat on a crate and stayed there a while. He didn't speak again. It didn't feel like a conversation, but it didn't feel like loneliness either. The lunch that wasn't hot lunch was a can of beans. Ethan heated it in the microwave, but not all the way. The middle was cold. He ate it anyway. The spoon clinked against the bowl slowly. 1 bite, 2, then a pause, then another. The TV played in the background, some old Western he'd seen before. He didn't look at it, just listened to the music and gunshots. A fly buzzed by. He waved it away lazily. Halfway through the beans, he stopped eating and just stared out the window again. The clouds hadn't moved. The mailbox surprise. At 2:04 p.m., Ethan remembered he hadn't checked the mailbox again. He knew he had already checked it in the morning, but sometimes something else came. He slowly walked the dirt path from the house to the mailbox. Dust rose with each step, though there was barely any wind. He opened the small metal door. Inside, nothing. He left it open just for a moment, as if something might suddenly appear. It didn't. He picked up a pebble from the ground and rolled it in his palm. Then, just as slowly, walked back to the house. The mailbox stayed open behind him. The afternoon chair. The sun had moved slightly in the sky. Ethan didn't check the time. He didn't need to. His body told him it was afternoon. He walked to the living room and sat in his favorite chair. The cushion had a dent from years of sitting. Next to him, a dusty lamp. On the table, a book he had started once, 3 years ago. Page 11 was dog-eared. He didn't pick it up. He just stared ahead. He wasn't sleeping, but he wasn't really awake either. He drifted somewhere between. The wind rattled the window once softly. He blinked, then stillness again. The phone call. The phone rang at 3:17 p.m., a loud, old-fashioned ring that cut through the silence. Ethan stared at it for a while. 2 rings. 3. 4. He didn't move. On the 6th ring, it stopped. He stood up slowly, walked to the phone, and looked at the caller ID. Unknown. He picked it up and listened. A dial tone. He set the phone back down gently. Then he made tea. No sugar, just hot water and leaves. He sat down, held the warm mug, and listened to the silence return. Watching the sky. Ethan stepped outside again. The day was ending, though not dramatically, just slowly fading. He brought a chair and placed it at the edge of the field. It faced west. The clouds were barely moving. He sat for a long time. Birds flew past in the distance, far enough to barely hear. He picked at a loose thread on his sleeve. The sun touched the horizon, but there were no bright colors, just a gentle dimming. The wind picked up a little, just enough to move his hair. He didn't flinch. He stayed until the sky was dark. Lights out. Back inside, Ethan didn't bother turning on the lights. He moved through the house by memory. He brushed his teeth slowly, turned off the bathroom light, folded his shirt and set it on the chair. The bed creaked as he sat down. The same mattress for decades. He lay back, adjusted the blanket, listened. Nothing. No cars, no owls. Just the faint ticking of the old clock in the hallway. His eyes closed, not fast, but with ease. The ceiling had changed color in the dark. Ethan exhaled. Tomorrow would be the same, and that was just fine.